Hello and welcome to Sports News Africa, the home of Africa's sporting conversation. On this edition, we'll be looking at some of the highlights from this past week. So let's see what's been making the headlines. The standoff between Nigeria and FIFA continues. One former player blames both sides. Togo receives a huge boost with international striker Emmanuel Adebayor joining the team in training. And after some unexpected results, South Africa and Australia will contest the final of the Triangular Series in cricket. Thanks for joining me. I'm Temesgen Devasai. The African Cup of Nations qualifiers kicked off this Friday with Sudan hosting South Africa in the first game of the qualifiers in Omdurman. While Nigeria is hosting Congo-Brazzaville, the Super Eagles will undoubtedly have one eye set on the world football governing body, FIFA, in the wake of a looming ban hanging over the Nigerian Football Federation. This is after FIFA called for the federation's current president, Chris Giwa, to step down. It is claimed that the current NFF board came to the helm after incumbent Alhaji Aminu Maigari was arrested under unclear circumstances. One Nigerian who is critical of the NFF is former international coach Emeka Ezugo. Here is what he had to say about the standoff between the NFF and FIFA.
The guys who've been running the Football Federation of Nigeria have been there solely for their own personal interest and not for the interest of the game. Hence, all this bickering and dog-eat-dog attitude is all, based on what's in it for them. We've never gotten it right. And it don't look like we're going to get it right in the next 15, 20 years. Why? Because it is an area where, politicians, the big politicians, political parties in Nigeria, they use that place, as patronage that they give out to people who they could not settle with other stuff that's bigger. They push them into football. And why is everybody running to football? Because that's the only area in Nigeria where you can embezzle billions of naira and you don't give account of it.
Well, the international Nigerian former player was equally critical of FIFA and accuses the international body of corruption and incompetence.
Funny part of it is, almighty FIFA always comes in to support the corrupt officials. What would I say? Like attracts like. FIFA is the most corrupt organization in the world. Hence, they prefer to work with existing corrupt institutions. They look at the players. They look at the players as people who just come and go. They would rather support clubs over players or support, football associations of different nations, even when they are not doing things right. They fixed the constitution, their statutes, to suit them and disenfranchise us who are ex-players. Hence, that's the reason why you don't find any ex-player, with the Nigerian Football Federation. They say if you have to contest for election, you must have gone back to your state and become the FA chairman or the FA secretary in order to be eligible to contest. Why?
Let's talk more now about that ban, and the Nigerian national team is in real danger of getting suspended from international football after the federation's president, who is unrecognized by FIFA, declared that he does not intend to step down. Now, although FIFA had given the NFF an ultimatum until last Monday, that ultimatum has now been extended until this Monday, and if Chris Giwa does not step down by then, Nigeria could be exiled from global competitions. If the ban comes into effect, the Super Eagles will be disqualified altogether from the 2015 Cup of Nations qualifiers, in which they are in Group A with Congo, South Africa and Sudan. They've already played Congo-Brazzaville in their opening game on Friday evening. Meanwhile, Togolese captain and striker Emmanuel Adebayor, who plays his club football with English Premier League side Tottenham Hotspurs has joined the national squad as they prepare to take on Guinea in the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers.
Togo's national football team, the Sparrowhawks, had a pleasant surprise this week when international striker Emmanuel Adebayo unexpectedly joined its ranks for last-minute training sessions ahead of the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers match against Guinea. The match against Guinea had been scheduled to take place in the capital Conakry, but was moved to Morocco after the deadly Ebola virus shot the West African nation. Spirits were high in Sparrowhawks training camp after Adebayo turned up. Amewu Komlan is a midfielder in the team.
I think everything is going well. We have the same squad. We have been playing together for a long time. We are training hard for this match, and we will see what happens.
With expectations running high in Togo for the newly appointed coach Chakala Chanile, a victory against Guinea could be all he requires to carry on for a man who had been assistant coach under former coach Didier Six. Adebayo, who has represented Togo in international encounters, promised fans a good impression in Morocco.
We will do all that is necessary to make sure that we are well prepared for CAN. It's going to be tough, but we are here to win. We face Guinea first, and then we are playing Ghana in Lome. I believe that we are ready to give it our all.
The team leaves Lome on Thursday for Morocco and will play Guinea on Saturday.
Coming up after the break on Sports News Africa. South Africa and Australia will contest the final of the Triangular Cricket Series in Harare. And staying with cricket, Uganda is in a six-a-side action in South Africa. All that is still to come. See you after the break. Welcome back to Sports News Africa. Zimbabwe recorded a rare 3-wicket win over Australia in the one-day triangular series on Sunday. Zimbabwe was chasing 210 for victory and managed the famous win with 12 balls to spare. The last time Australia suffered a defeat at the hands of Zimbabwe goes back to the 1983 World Cup, which was 31 years ago. But on Thursday, South Africa beat Zimbabwe by 63 runs to book a date with Australia. Du Plessis' 121 carried the Proteas to 271 for 6 after they were put in the bat before J.P. Duminy picked up 3 wickets as Zimbabwe were bowled out for 208. Zimbabwe had to chase down their target in 25.2 overs if they were going to gain a bonus point and improve their net run rate sufficiently to knock South Africa out, but didn't even get close to winning with Brendan Taylor's 79, the only score of note. So, despite the defeat to South Africa, could this be the start of a resurgence in Zimbabwean cricket? The sport has endured many highs and lows in recent years, but victory against Australia, the world's current #1 side, could herald the beginning of a new era for the country that has just hosted the Triangular Series in Harare.
From the violent invasions of white-owned farms to an economy with inflation running crazy up to 1,000,000%, Zimbabwe's long history of political upheavals has not left anything intact, even the sport of cricket. In 2003, the Cricket World Cup, jointly hosted by Zimbabwe and South Africa, was disrupted by the tense political crisis between President Mugabe and the opposition, forcing several countries to pull out of the competition. The ground has since been shaky for the sport in the country. Earlier this year, in January, players staged a strike, citing months of unpaid salaries. But the situation seems to have calmed down for now, as Zimbabwe plays host to the 2014 Cricket Triangular Series, part of the Future Cricket Tour programs organised by the International Cricket Council, where Australia and South Africa are taking part in 7 one-day international matches. Head coach Stephen Mangongo said the series will help the team redeem itself on the international scene.
The series means a lot. As a country, it's important that as a cricketing nation, we are taken seriously. And you can only be taken seriously if you are playing the best in the world and you are beating the best in the world. If you are competing with the best in the world, that's the only way you earn your respect. And to us, yes, we are here as a team which wants to compete, which is work in progress, and we want to improve at each and every outing.
Zimbabwe has already beaten Australia by 3 wickets in the 4th one-day international match in a long-awaited victory after 31 years.
The future of cricket in Zimbabwe has always been bright. The Zimbabwe Cricket Union has got a very vigorous and brilliant development program, and in that it harnesses talent in all the 5 franchises in the country, and we believe that if we keep playing the game at the highest level, talent will naturally progress through our grassroots program.
The team's performance at the series, which started a week ago, has raised their optimism of reaching the finals of the Tri-Series.
Well, the chances are very open. We need to go out there and win our last game, and if we win our last game, then we've got a chance of going through into the final. And we are doing all our processes to make sure that we give ourselves a best opportunity.
Zimbabwe square off with neighbours South Africa at their 6th ODI match, which will determine which 2 teams will go to the finals on Saturday in Harare.
Staying with cricket, Uganda is already looking ahead to the ICC World Cricket League Division qualifier next month. And playing along Kenya, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Tanzania and host South Africa, the team is currently participating in a 6-a-side tournament that will aid its preparations for the World Cricket League event.
Uganda's cricket is making final preparations ahead of the upcoming 2014 6-a-side cricket tournament, which will be held in Centurion, South Africa from 4th to 7th September. The tournament aims to revitalize cricket on the African continent so as to popularize the sport more and ensure development and growth of the sport in the continent. Uganda will be using the tournament for preparation ahead of the World Cricket League Division 3 games.
We're looking at this tournament as a preparation for the World Cricket League Division 3. It's very important to the team because it will be the last build-up before the tournament. So we're taking it very seriously, and I think the team that's been chosen is going to give everything it's got.
Henry Okecho, the Uganda cricket head coach, said even though his side is making adequate preparations, they expected a lot of resistance from other teams, particularly South Africa and Zimbabwe.
There's no doubt the test-playing nations will give us a stiff challenge, South Africa and Zimbabwe. The level of their game is obviously much higher than ours, so we expect that the competition will be very stiff there. But if you look at Namibia, Kenya and Tanzania, we are all associate nations. Kenya and Namibia might just be a little bit ahead of us, but we feel that in a competition like this, a 5-over competition, short format of the game, we should be able to compete effectively.
The tournament will feature 6 teams, namely Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Namibia, Zimbabwe and hosts South Africa.
You're watching Sports News Africa. Time for another break now, but when we come back. In the under-20 qualifiers, Togo beat Mali at home, but was it good enough to see them through? Also in the same competition, Zambia got past Malawi, following in the footsteps of the senior team that beat Sudan earlier. See you after the break. Welcome back. Togo's under-20 national side hosted Mali in Lomé in a qualifier clash for the 2015 Africa Youth Championships. Togo has lost the away encounter, and they needed an emphatic win at home to progress in the competition.
This is one match that the Togo under-20 football team will live to regret. The stage had been set in their capital city, Lomé, for them to try and redeem themselves after losing out on their away match in Mali. But instead, things went horribly wrong for the 2015 Under-20 Africa Youth Championships campaign. Despite their victory over Mali on the return leg of the qualifiers, Togo's hopes of participating at the 2015 tournament in Senegal were dashed as they failed to live up to expectations. The Togolese team went into the game with high spirits, backed by home fans' advantage, managing to slip in a goal in the first half. The rest of the match remained barren for Mali, who refused to concede any more goals and forcing Togo to contend with a single goal. And as the final whistle was blown, it was obvious Togo had missed a slot for the Under-20 Africa Youth Championships tournament by a matter of points against Mali. Adam Fazazi, the coach of the Togo Under-20 team, said the outcome was disappointing after so much preparations had been made.
I'm disappointed because we had the chance to start the game very well. We scored a goal early in the game, which should have galvanized the players. But unfortunately, at the end of the day, it did not work. What is disappointing? That is disappointing. But I know my players have fought very well anyway.
Unrelated Mali, on the other hand, blamed their loss on the conditions of play in Lomé, but were looking forward to the championship.
When we came here, we knew it was not about playing against a team, but against a country. The fans were here to motivate their team, and physically, we are not used to playing at this time of the day. We are used to playing late at night. Also, we are not familiar with this kind of a pitch. We are not used to football on synthetic grass. We came here to qualify, and I think we fulfilled the contract.
Mali will now join 6 other countries that have already qualified for the 2015 Africa Youth Championship.
Meanwhile, Zambia's Under-20 has got past Malawi in the same competition to progress to the 2015 Africa Youth Championship. That feat follows victory by Zambia's seniors, who hosted Sudan in a friendly earlier.
It was double victory for Zambians in the capital Lusaka over the weekend after the national football team, the Chipolo Polos, won their friendly match against Sudan, and the Under-20 team dismissed Malawi to progress to the 2015 Africa Youth Championship scheduled for Senegal early next year. The Under-20 team beat Malawi 1-0 on Sunday, 2 weeks after winning their first leg of the Under-20 qualifiers in Lilongwe by 2-1. However, the decider did not come until the 55th minute through striker Harry Boila of the Boila football dynasty.
The game we played was a tough game. Malawi came, they wanted the win too, but we had an away, we won a game away, so we had an advantage. So coming at our home ground, we knew that we were going to beat them, and we have done that.
Fans of the Zambian team like Peter Chishala and Kapesaili respectively applauded the Under-20 team for winning the game.
In general, the game was fair because we've managed to score 1 goal in the second half and we contained Malawi. What's important for us, we've qualified to Senegal and it's good for Zambian football.
They had very good possession of the ball. They played very well. They were able to see each other. They were able to play no more touches. Like technically we were better than Malawi in that half of the time we had possession of the ball, except we didn't finish too well in the final third. We'd have scored more than 1 goal otherwise.
This is the second time Zambia's Under-20 football team is qualifying for the Africa Youth Championships since 2007.
And that's the end of Sports News Africa for today. Join us again next time when we bring you all the latest from Africa and around the world. Bye for now.